Nagayama Koharu is a persona Fujimoto created, staged to be his third grade little sister. But he doesn't have a sister. Despite his desperate attempts at trying to stay anonymous, it was a massive failure. At a first glance, the concept that Fujimoto pretends to be an imaginary little sister is utterly peculiar. It makes you wonder what kind of twisted psycho this man truly is. But now let's gather everything we've learned to tackle the ultimate question. Why is Tatsuki Fujimoto so weird? You'd think that this question was a shut and closed case. Just look at the abundant list of reasons for why Tatsuki Fujimoto is considered weird in the first place. There's also one more thing that needs to be added to the list that I couldn't fit narratively in the video. Maybe you've heard that Tatsuki Fujimoto is a masochist. Well, that's because in an interview he quite literally openly admits to it, going on to recall this story about getting pushed off his bike by some chick and then saying he felt so happy that she did it to him. Alright, take another look at this list. It's a no-brainer. Tatsuki Fujimoto is a fucking weirdo. He ate his pet fish, he pretends to be a girl that doesn't exist, he is openly admitted to at one point planning murder, as well as suicide, and he writes about the strangest fucking things. All the signs point to him not being mentally sane. So at the bottom line, let's all collectively agree that Tatsuki Fujimoto is a fucking weirdo. But allow me to explain why he isn't so weird. We're always all too quick to just read a headline, too quick to just read a title, too quick to just look at a thumbnail, and from that we gather improper assumptions. Tatsuki Fujimoto is just as human as you or I. He has the same justifications, feelings, and fears that we all have, but he's viewed as this weird, bizarre entity. Like, you'll read or hear about how Tatsuki Fujimoto pretends to be his little sister on the internet. You'll hear echo after echo that he's a fucking weirdo. So how can you also not believe that same sentiment that everyone spews? But I think we all fail to consider the motives for his actions. For example, take Nagayama Koharu. On the surface, it appears as a predatory attempt to be someone he's not. But is it really that weird to want a sense of security? Or what's the reason behind his murderistic threats? To me, Fujimoto embodies that desperate desire to be great, possessing the same killer, animalistic attitude legends like Kobe, MJ, and Larry Bird had for the game of basketball. Fujimoto was never going to fail at becoming a mangaka, so he created ultimatums to guarantee his success. When I read Fujimoto was either going to get better at art or kill his classmates, at first I laughed, but the more I read, the more I didn't think he was that weird. Instead, I kind of admired. I admired the unfaltering passion to be great. I think there's logical reasons as to why Fujimoto does the odd things that he does. Well, okay, maybe there's no explanation for eating your pet fish out of pity. And sure, maybe he is a little weird. He can say weird things and write about odd topics. But that's the charm of Fujimoto, and none of it is with ill intent. Again, there may be no definitive answer as to why Fujimoto is as weird as he is, but there's certainly something we can learn from him. I guess what I'm trying to say is that we're all fucking weird. Some more weird than others, but too often we all try to conform to society. We try to become another cog in the wheel, adding no value to our lives or anyone else's. We shy away from that weirdness that makes us who we are, and as a result, makes life lack the imaginative creativity that brings color to the world. So what I'm trying to say is aspire to achieve like Fujimoto, because he got to where he is by consistently rejecting normality. Maybe there will be a day where we reflect back and remember how Tatsuki Fujimoto rose to being the greatest mangaka of all time. Not because he did what already worked, but because he did what didn't, creating weird stories no one else dared to create.